Hello, I'm Grayson Orfe.
And I'm Kristin Legata. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll talk about all things snow and we'll take a look at the Neat Streets program in Eastport. But first, making headlines this week. Just in case you missed it and haven't been on your social media, there was an election this week. Governor Hogan will be running the state of Maryland for 4 more years. He is the first Republican governor to win 2 consecutive terms since 1954. Aside from the governor's race here in Anne Arundel County, Stuart Pittman beat incumbent Steve Shue by 7,700 votes. As for the county council, there will be a lot of new faces. Democrat Sarah Lacey will be the new council member for District 1. Democrat Allison Picard will be the new council member for District 2. Republican Nathan Volke will be the new council member for District 3. Incumbent Democrat Andrew Pruski will remain the council member for District 4. Republican Amanda Fiedler will be the new council member for District 5. Democrat Lisa Brannigan-Rodvian will be the new council member for District 6. And Republican Jessica Hare will be the new council member for District 7. Your new sheriff in the county will be Republican Jim Fredericks. To find out more election results, you can visit the Maryland State Board of Elections website at elections.state.md.us. Did you get out and vote, Grayson?
Yeah, I did, and the lines were long. It was rainy. It felt like if you were gonna vote, this was the time to do it because you had to be dedicated.
And you guys have a big family. Were they all part of it too, or did you guys take turns? You went out first, and then your wife went out.
Well,
How'd you do it?
Well, we're used to doing things in shifts. We sleep in shifts, so it's really difficult. But yeah, no, it was great. It was my wife went and then I went, and so we always try to at least get out and participate because in order to get your voice heard, you got to vote.
Absolutely. So, and we're hoping that everyone else got out to vote too and that you didn't have any problems. We try to make it super easy here in Anne Arundel County, so there were some long lines, but it's important to make your voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we are officially into the holiday season, and that means there are a lot of ways that you can help the less fortunate. We recommend you avoid spending Thanksgiving volunteering because there are so many different ways that you can help out, and everybody usually has that same idea. Check out the Anne Arundel County Food Bank, the Volunteer Center, and the Stanton Center in Annapolis for starters. And one of our favorites is the Holiday Sharing Program from the Department of Social Services. Here's a promo from a very familiar face.
The holiday season is officially upon us, and many of you are probably wondering how you can help out people who need it. Well, we have the perfect program for you. It's called the Holiday Sharing Program, and it's sponsored by the Department of Social Services. Here's how it works. You can adopt a family or a senior citizen, do your own shopping for them, and personally deliver the items so you can meet the people you help or make a donation. And there are all kinds of things you can donate because the program is customized. You can choose the size of the family you want to adopt. You can give Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, or both. You can buy clothes and presents for kids. You can even pick one of 4 geographic areas of the county. To sign up, go to dhr.maryland.gov/Anne Arundel. Now in its 36th year, the Holiday Sharing Program had more than 500 donors give $30,000 to 3,600 families and seniors. Let's make it even bigger this year.
Well, Kristin, I believe I got a lot to learn about show business from you.
Oh, it's all about getting roped into doing so many things, Grayson. That's all you got to remember.
Listen, you are the queen.
Oh, no.
Listen, no.
We have so many kings and queens over here in the studio, let me tell you. But it was my pleasure and honor to do that promo for our Holiday Sharing Program. We are very proud of that. So.
Listen, absolutely. I'm getting your autograph after.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm telling you.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, would you like to get involved in planning our county's growth and development for the future? Our Citizens Advisory Committee to the General Development Plan has begun meeting to do just that, and these meetings are open to the public. The next meeting is Wednesday, November 21st at 4:30 p.m. at the Heritage Office Complex in Annapolis. The committee will start making recommendations to the Office of Planning and Zoning in February. For more information, go to aacounty.org/plan2040. Now, Grayson, I hear that you're a stand-up comedian. Do you have any jokes about zoning? Grayson. Grayson.
Oh, sorry. I got zoned out. Nothing.
Nice one.
Nothing at all. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will be talking to Alex Bacquiet from the Department of Public Works Road Operations. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around the town. We'll be right back.
I surrender. All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Welcome back. Joining us on the show, once again, one of my favorite guests to have here on Week in Review because it means snow is coming. Alex Bacquiet, Chief of Road Operations for the county and also Lord of Snow. Welcome back, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we are so excited to have you. Of course, I'm more excited than others because I love the snow.
Look, I enjoy it too, unless it's on my driveway.
Yeah, I hear that. So we want to know what DPW is doing right now to get ready.
Sure. One of the big things we're doing right now is making sure that we have our staff in place.
Yes.
The drivers to run our plow trucks, the call takers to answer the phones, the folks to run our loaders and load trucks with salt, folks that are working with our contractors so that all those folks are set for their snow duty.
And we were talking about like a couple training sessions.
That's right. So we have a pretty comprehensive training program during the fall. So we're making sure that everyone has an opportunity to get trained. Some folks are just getting a refresher. They've done this for 20 years, but we certainly give them a refresher, and then the folks that are new, bringing them into the fold. Everybody wears two hats. So you sort of have your normal job during the year, and then when snow comes, we sort of put on a different hat, and we each have a duty that we fulfill.
And we, of course, very much appreciate that hard work from all of our county employees that are working on snow out there.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about trucks and salt. What's it look like? What do we? How much do we have?
Well, the other key items, making sure that our barns are full of salt.
Yes.
That we've produced salt brine so that we can anti-ice the roadways before the storm event starts, and that our equipment is ready to put that liquid de-icing material down, as well as to spread the rock salt. We're making sure that our contractor fleet has come in and their trucks have been inspected and they know where their routes are and what they're going to be doing. So those meetings and trainings have occurred. So we've got our staffing and our materials and our contractors and, of course, the county snow fleet. Yes. So we have about 74 primary plow vehicles that are assigned to snow removal zones. So those have been buffed and polished, and the hydraulics have been checked, and the plows have been put on, and we've done our inspections to make sure everything is operational and ready to roll whenever Mother Nature decides the snow must fall.
You've just gotten everything on the checklist, haven't you?
Right. Now, this is the thing. Okay, so it's early November right now, and we're accustomed to sometimes getting it maybe late November, maybe early December, getting some dustings and things like that. Right. When do you think will be our first snowfall, our first good amount of snow?
Well, as you say, it tends to, we sort of get these just introductory events early on. The earliest generally is Halloween, historically.
Wow.
So we try and make sure that we have a good contractor fleet, that we're ready to go, that our internal county fleet is ready to roll as early as Halloween if we need to. But typically we have till Thanksgiving. Then we start to see those smaller events occur.
Yeah.
And then by mid-December, then we really start to see some snow events.
That's my time.
Oh, the Lord of the Snow is here.
Lord of the Snow.
So, are there any new features or services this season?
Well, we're going to certainly continue the anti-icing program, which we've had in place for about 2 years now. We've been quite happy with its results, so people will continue to see those white lines on the road, on the interstates as well as on the county streets as we apply some salt brine before the snowfall. Can't get done every time. If it's going to rain, it doesn't make any sense to put it down, so they won't see it every time. So some of the other things we're doing to prepare or might be utilizing this year, we're trying out some hybrid plows, some things that remove the snow a little more effectively from the street, and making sure that we're helping our folks understand that balance between safety and mobility for motorists, but being environmentally responsible and fiscally responsible in how we use our salt and our de-icing chemicals. So there are a number of initiatives rolling out in terms of just managing our material usage as effectively as we can. So those are some things that we're working on. And in terms of technology, we have our automatic vehicle location system, or our AVL. That allows us to know where all our plows are, to find any areas where we might have not missed a street, is one way to say it, or where a plow just hasn't gotten to in the last 12 hours or the last 3 hours. It lets us know those time frames, so we can make sure that everybody gets service and that they're getting it in an appropriate amount of time.
And I have to say that you guys have always done an incredible job conveying that message to residents, so that when they call in, they know about service, when to expect it, etc. And it's always easy to contact, whether it's through the web or contact the office direct. So commend you guys on that.
Well, thank you. We certainly we want people to have that understanding. Often it's just that information, that comfort level. You know, what service are you delivering? What are you doing right now? And as you mentioned, the website we try and make accessible, and by phone call, our snow line's 4040. We always welcome people to call and ask questions if they have any. And we'll be pushing out messages by social media as well this year, reminders and tips in terms of getting ready for a winter storm, what is expected in terms of precipitation, what the county's doing to get ready.
And that would be through the Department of Public Works Facebook page, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Both Facebook and Twitter.
And Twitter.
We'll probably use both those channels.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, as I mentioned, I remain snow hopeful. I know there's some snow Scrooges out there, and that's okay. Everyone can have an opinion. What are you?
Listen, I love snow. I love it, just not too much of it. I just need maybe a good week.
I'm all about just let it come down. So I want to get stuck.
A good week of Netflix. I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
I catch up on everything. Yeah, I'm good to go.
I love it. I think it's beautiful. And we know we talked off air that it's been a very wet year, and that usually gives us some kind of indication of what kind of snow we might be looking at. Right. So I ask you this every time you're here, and we're all going to place our bets.
All right, here we go.
What are we thinking for a prediction of a largest single event and overall in inches?
In inches. Okay. Yes. Well, to pick up on your thought, it has been a historically wet year.
Yes.
And NOAA, National Weather Service, is saying that above normal precipitation is going to carry us through the winter. Combine that with what I think will be a more active storm season than we had last. And so I am predicting that it will be above normal. Okay. Normal is about 20.1 inches at BWI annually, total, for all our storm events. I'm going to peg us a little bit higher than that. We're about 15 inches last year. I'm going to say we're going to come in around 26 inches total this year.
Total.
That's my
estimated,
highly statistical guesstimate.
26 total. And single event?
Single event, 9 inches.
9 inches. 9 and 26. What say you?
I say 10 and 45.
10:45.
I swear I'm only joking. I hope not. His eyes are looking at me like, oh crap.
Heavy year.
All right, I'm going to say a 14-inch event.
Okay.
And I'm going to come in at a modest, because every time I overdo it, it always comes under. I'll say 32 overall, and hopefully it'll be more than I expect.
Okay. And if I'm lucky, it'll be much less.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
It's just me over here in the corner wishing for all the snow. Right. Well, Alex, we appreciate you coming on and, as always, keeping us informed on what you guys are doing to get us ready for this winter weather. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you and the crews, and we, of course, appreciate all you're doing.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere. Let it snow.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. Residents in Eastport are rolling up their sleeves to pitch in and make the community better. Pat Daly has more. Pat?
Thanks, guys. All of our Anne Arundel County communities are looking to improve their streets and their everyday lives. But here in Eastport, they've actually started to do that very process. And I'm here with Vic Pasco, the president of the Eastport Civic Association, and Bumper Moyer, an associate, to talk about the Neat Streets program that's being implemented by the Eastport Civic Association. Vic, go ahead and tell us a little bit about Neat Streets and what goes on during a project.
Okay, well, Neat Streets, first of all, I just want to say it was a sort of an idea that came out of a trip to Ireland, where they have a program in Ireland called Tidy Towns, where the residents of a town clean up and they sort of compete with each other. And I was thinking, man, what a great idea. And this was over a year ago, and Bumper and I started talking, and Bumper came up with the idea of Neat Streets. It was his idea for the name, and so we just decided to see if we could make it work. And what we do is we designate a block in Eastport, a city block, and for 1 hour, 1 day a week, we clean that entire block from end to end and from side to side. We pull up weeds, we sweep, we paint the curbs, we do all kinds of stuff, and when we're done, it looks like a tornado's been through there, completely clean. You could eat off of it. And Bumper has signs that he puts up so that cars don't park there for the 1 hour that we're out. We have vests that everyone wears. It's a completely voluntary thing, and so far so good. We've been having good success with it.
Great. Now, Bumper, apparently the city, in a way, works with you with the paint that you use. Tell us a little bit about your interaction with the city.
The interaction with the city's been great so far. The head of Public Works has been fully supportive. We went to him with the idea, and he's donated brooms, shovels, paint, yellow paint, red paint, anything you possibly need to make this job to help accentuate and make the job better, easier to do. And so it's just, and after that, they stepped aside, which is pretty much what we want. Don't get in our way, support us, and it works smoothly.
That's incredible. Well, we are standing on one of your project sites. Do you want to take us through it a little bit?
Now, this was done about 2 or 3 months ago, so it's going to be, Mother Nature is going to put some stuff back into the curves and everything. But this curb was all not painted. So if you can see, it looks reasonably fresh still 2 or 3 months later. So it's all red. There was weeds about this high throughout this whole block, against the wall, around what was formerly the mailbox, and now those are all gone, and they'll stay gone. So once you weed and paint, edge, trim, that all lasts. The stuff you get out of the gutter tends to come back almost immediately, so you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Great. Now, Vic, I know you said you guys went through a whole project in like 40 minutes or something?
Right. So our very first project, we took a block a couple streets over, and we had, 30 or 40 people that showed up that day. And I remember looking at my watch and thinking, we've just done the entire block and it only took 40 minutes, and everyone was just so surprised. And I think that what that means is when we're all working together and everyone's chipping in, it just goes quick and it's easy. And the results are so obvious. You see it right when it's finished, so it's perfect.
Right. Now, do you have to be a resident of Eastport to help?
Well, you don't have to be a resident of Eastport, but I would say most people that do it are residents of Eastport, but we'll take anybody. In fact, Bumper's working with a couple of churches. He's working with some Boy Scout groups, trying to get the community involved. We're working with public housing. We're trying to get them involved. And we want really this to be a community effort, and we want it to grow so that we have plenty of people every week. And whether you show up or not on a weekly basis, there's plenty of people to do the job.
Great. Now, Bumper, how can we learn more about the project?
Well, every week, about a week before we do a project, there's a post, an event post on Facebook. The ECA has something on their website that posts about it. Eastport Civic Association, excuse me. And then I'll personally send an email out to everybody who's given me their email and saying, hey, we're doing this. And for example, and I would like to add, we want people to take ownership. We don't want it to be hierarchical or top down. So if Vic and I aren't involved, it collapses, for example, right? So we have people, block captains. So if we're going to come to this block, which we did, and the Wildies live on this block, and they volunteered to be a block captain. So they go put the signs up or tell their neighbors what's going to happen. And if somebody's, what's going on here, gets a little uncomfortable, no, we're not touching your property, we're just cleaning the block, participate, don't participate, it's no pressure whatsoever, but this is happening. And once you have a kind of an emissary from that block, it makes it more smooth. Nobody's worried about their car or anything else kind of thing.
And you even said that at one point, some of the neighbors started cleaning up themselves once they saw you clean.
Once, it's a side effect. Once you take good care of the surrounding area, people are like, wait a minute, my place looks a little untidy compared to everything else. Let me fix this up a little bit. You see the benefit from it.
One guy came out and I noticed him a couple of days later cutting his hedges, and it was on a street that we had just finished, and he obviously came out and said, you know what, my hedges need to be trimmed, and he did them. And
the hedges have been moved over to the sidewalk, well into the sidewalk area. So it was a nice, it's a good thing. It's all good. Also, I'd like to know and to tell you, and this is something Vic doesn't know yet. On the 18th, it was put together yesterday. The 18th up in Glen Burnie on Crane Highway, between around the intersection of 648 and Central Avenue. We're doing one of these, and Neat Streets is going to be involved.
That's great.
We wanted to branch out and become a culture of community involvement. Again, not top heavy down. We want people, this is what we do. We go out and we take care of our neighborhood and we clean it up. You know, so.
And one thing we might want to do is, when we start getting this really going, is challenging Ward 1, like we do on everything, to do the same thing that we're doing and maybe have a competition.
Eastport's Ward 8. Ward 1's on the other side of the bridge, which is the famous tug of war, our famous tug of war opponents. So we're going to set the bar high for them, the standard high for them to step up in terms of community involvement and all that stuff.
Okay, well, it's community action on steroids here in Eastport. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. So, Grayson, wonderful job on your first Week in Review show. How's it feeling?
I was a little nervous.
You look sharp. You're doing the job.
Hey, listen, I'm trying right now. You know, I got a lot of confidence from my wife. She looked at me this morning and I laughed.
Shout out, wifey.
Yeah, she looked at me. She was like, "Don't screw up or don't come home." So I was like, "Okay."
Ooh, no pressure.
Don't really have a lot of choices. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You told me you're from Louisiana.
Yes,
Right.
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Nice, shout out Lafayette.
Absolutely, Saints fan, of course. Sorry, Baltimore.
That's all right. You're not Steelers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No. You guys are safe. But
so the move from Louisiana to here, what was that about?
Oh, it was well, we moved when I was young. I was about 6 or 7 years old, and parents moved up. The whole family moved up here, and ever since then, I mean, lived in Bowie, Maryland, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Working in Anne Arundel.
Yeah. Oh my God, the commute is great. I spent maybe about 12 or 13 years working in the government for federal government. So that drive to DC back and forth.
Oh, I used to make that drive.
Oh.
Lots of fun.
Absolutely. And then sometimes to Reston, Virginia.
Oh my
Which
goodness.
was very,
Soul sucking is the.
Oh my God, it was. I'll take the soul out. It was just sucking.
Yeah, it was sucking.
So it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, it was. After that, I'm a stand-up comedian. So
love it.
I've
Obviously,
done,
from your zoning joke, I knew right off the bat.
Hey,
here's some talent.
Listen, it's hard. It's hard being this good. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's so much fun. I mean, I have a lot to joke about because at home we have 2 sets of twins.
This is incredible to me.
Yeah.
2 sets of twins.
Yeah.
13 and 8?
Yes.
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 Boys older, girls younger.
Yep.
Protective big brothers, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even though they're very nice, and I'm trying to get them out of that nice stage.
Yeah.
Because the girls, you know, I figure
Not so
I got
nice?
some years. Well, no, I got some years until they start dating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I don't want them to be like, now be nice to my sister. I want them to be like, hey.
You better be nice.
Exactly. Or else you're going to get D's. Like I'm waiting for that to come through. So, but no, they're great kids. God bless me with a great family. My wife, we've been married going on 15 years. 15 years in July.
And she's from here?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We met in college. I went to art school at the Art Institute of Washington.
Okay.
So we met there, and I graduated in June, got married in July.
My goodness.
Yep, and that very next year,
time.
oh, I'm telling you, it was, and then the twins came, and then I was just, yeah. So listen, guys, I'm only 36, but
Grayson, you seem like a man with a plan.
Oh yeah. With God's plan, because I'm sitting there like, hey, it's up to you. I'm along for the ride.
Well, we've enjoyed having you here today, and you're going to be hosting next week, so I'm looking forward to more jokes and more family antics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a whole bunch of more stories. So
I love it.
Stay tuned.
Take us on out.
Alrighty, so that's a wrap for this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and the archived episodes online anytime on Facebook or YouTube by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in next week for more highlights, news from around the county, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Like a chill.